everyone gets that one moment, the breaking point where they're just done, And so with my main job, I was just kind of waiting. I don't know what I was waiting for, but I knew eventually I wanted to take the shift and go 100% self-employment. And I waited 3 years, just waiting for the right time. And then all it took was my boss telling me, you can't take your vacation this year. And I thought, I'm out. Peace.
Hi, and welcome to Speaking Skills. This is Leonardo. If this is the first time you're watching, well, this is our interview series, and this is all about their speaking skills and public speaking and presentation skills. So today I've invited Sarah. And Sarah, I'm guessing that a lot of people that are watching me don't know you. So I think it would be very interesting to hear about who you are and what do you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me on today. So like he said, my name is Sarah, and I am a 37-year-old mommy of an amazing little toddler. She's 3 years old. I am an online exercise physiologist / personal trainer in person. I do nutrition as well, but my bread and butter is working with mothers and helping them bring back their sexy, find their inner confidence, rock their mom bod with confidence. So it's all about helping people achieve a healthy balance between exercise, nutrition, and time with their family.
Okay, and I actually didn't prepare this question, but I think I should ask it. Is there like a personal trip behind this, a personal reason or experience since you chose something so specific?
Well, I've been doing this now for 18 years, and I've worked with every person you can imagine, young athletes, people with special needs, elderly folks just trying to be able to bend over and tie their shoes. And, you work with all different types of people, and you really find what is near and dear to your heart. And obviously I was never a mother before. And so, I worked with moms, never really had that place of empathy. And, I would hear time is of the essence, and I don't have any time, and my kids driving me crazy. And I really I need to find like a quick, easy, efficient way of doing things. And, I understood it, or so I thought back then. And after I became a mom, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what they were talking about, where you feel like you literally are run ragged, and your kid is your top priority, of course. And, people that have a husband or someone else in the household have a little bit of leeway, but, for the single parents out there, it's only them. So they need something snappy, fast, efficient. And in the midst of motherhood, you feel like part of you is lost, and you feel that you're really just getting by. You're using every bit of energy that you have just to get by. And at some point you feel like I need to find myself again. And so that's where a couple years ago, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to dedicate my business to working with mothers that really want to be able to find their inner confidence again. They want to find themselves, not as mommy, but as Sarah, and really be able to be a better mom because of feeling good about themselves again. So that's kind of how it all started a couple years ago with my daughter. She redirected my business.
And how old is your daughter?
She's 3.5, going on 13.
Nice.
She is amazing, and she knows everything about exercise because we have a home gym. So it's funny because every day she'll look at me, she's like, Mommy, can we go work out now? I'm like, yes, honey, we can go work out. She has her little 1 pound dumbbells, 3 pound dumbbells. So yeah, it really is very important, with anything that you love, to teach your kids young. So she just has seen me doing it from the time she was born. So it really just comes natural to her. And I've never once asked her to do any of it, but she just thoroughly loves it. So it's a bonus.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit, like you mentioned briefly, but how did you really get started? Like, what was that, like that moment? Was it really when you became a mother, or was it something else?
So I was an athlete growing up and I was a volleyball player, very, very slender build. And my mom said, you know what, you're going off to high school. We got to bulk you up. We got to get you strong. So I'm going to hire you a personal trainer. And working with this man, it was the first encounter I ever had with a personal trainer. And I thought it was very interesting. So I asked him a lot of questions. And that's what I went to school for, exercise science. So I became a personal trainer in college. And I pretty much worked throughout college. And then when I graduated, I became a cardiac exercise physiologist, but I still continued personal training, here and there. And I always knew that I wanted to be self-employed. It's in my blood. My father's an entrepreneur. My sister is self-employed, my aunts and uncles. So I always knew that I did not want to be under someone. I wanted to be able to call the shots. I wanted to be able to do my thing. And so little by little, I had my full-time job and I heard, you can do this online coaching. And I thought, what are you talking about? People hire me to work one-on-one with them. There's no way someone's going to pay me money to do something through the web. And then little by little, I kept hearing more and more people were doing it. So I just figured out how to create a website. I asked one guy that I knew that had a website himself, and he kind of showed me a little bit. Got this, just to think about it now makes me cringe, So I had that website, started doing online coaching, didn't know what in the world I was doing, but I knew some people knew what I did. And I had a few different clients that I was working with, still maintained a few clients in person. And then, everyone gets that one moment, the breaking point where they're just done, And so with my main job, I was just kind of waiting. I don't know what I was waiting for, but I knew eventually I wanted to take the shift and go 100% self-employment. And I waited 3 years, just waiting for the right time. And then all it took was my boss telling me, you can't take your vacation this year. And I thought, I'm out. Peace. I'm going to give you 2 months. I'm going to give you 2 months of my time. And then at that point where I told you I was going to take a vacation, I'm going to take my vacation. And then you can find someone else to fill my spot. So from that point on, I just started my social media journey. Actually, I was never on social media before. I was hearing from my younger clients, in order to do this thing online, you have to grow a presence. You have to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to tell your story. And I thought, well, I don't even know anything about this. She's trying to teach me about hashtags. And I'm like, what? You want me to use the pound sign? Is that the same thing? I had no clue. And and so little by little, I made a ton of mistakes throughout the journey, and luckily now I'm just now figuring it out, but started growing a presence, started telling my story, got a new website, started adjusting things, and it just has been building since. So I feel grateful for all the ups and the downs. Even, I'm a firm believer and you have to fail. You have to fail in order to learn, to grow, to get better. And so, everyone's like, if I could have done it different, I would have jumped over that because that was a fit. And I don't believe in that. I think we are all given the areas to fail at for a reason. And it's really to help you become better. And hopefully that happens at a younger age than an older age. When people tell me, oh, it's been smooth sailing the whole way, that's typically not the really successful person that you look up to. Those are the people that tell you, I've been through hell and back and I've made a ton of mistakes and I'm here to shine now, but it wasn't always the case. So
I think that's a very good point. I think and I totally agree that it's very important that you fail, because if you don't fail, you really don't learn anything. Like, it's when you fail that you see, oh, that's why it didn't work. Of course, some people can continue failing and never learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my grandfather, he actually won the lottery 3 times, and he's from Chile, and he won the big prize 2 times and the smaller prize the 3rd time. And he started many businesses, but he never like got to work for that money. He was
Yeah.
just lucky by chance, and he never learned anything.
Yep. Hmm.
So as
Yeah, struggle. I mean, I feel it's necessary to struggle. It's necessary to like feel like you're treading the water and you're like, am I ever going to come up? But when you're given the ride and you're shown the way, then it's like, well, yeah, there's not a lot of growth potential there because you don't need to be, you're not forced into it.
yeah, and I also think it's important to like look at this mindset that in the beginning you really don't know what you don't know. And it's once you start failing that you start to say, "Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know that either." And then after some time, you realize I wasn't that smart.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the moment where you actually start putting things together. And then you start still making mistakes, but more conscious mistakes, more
Mhm.
things that you know, okay, I just need to switch a bit this. A good example is I did a lot of live stuff before. And the one thing that always killed me a lot was sound, 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 sound. In the beginning, lighting, then came sound, and repeatedly all the time.
Mhm.
So it really is a learning curve for everything, especially being an entrepreneur. You don't have tech support that can just fix this. You don't have somebody who can just tell you, oh, you just need to switch this on your Facebook, or you need to go on YouTube and you need to delete this and this because else it's going to be flagged. You don't know that. You just get flagged.
I know. I know. It is. It's crazy. And then it's interesting to talk to someone that you think has it all together and you really idolize. And then you realize behind the scenes, it's still a crazy game, behind the scenes. They're like, oh my gosh, I had this IT issue right before I click live. And then my light went out. And then all this thing, because you think, I'm the only one that doesn't have it together. And I'm the only one that's like, it's a shit show behind the scenes, but it's like, no, more people feel crazed than you think. It's for sure.
So I would like to ask you basically, and we talked about this because I know the answer. Were you that comfortable when you just got started to be do public speaking with a camera especially?
Sure. When was the time that I actually started feeling comfortable?
No, how was it in the beginning before you
Oh,
got comfortable?
ooh, ooh, let me tell you. Okay, so do you want to hear the story of when I
Go ahead.
first? Okay, so I was on Facebook doing videos, but they were not live videos, and so it was right when the live videos came about. And so I knew that the reach was far greater. I knew that it was smarter in terms of business to do live videos. But of course, my public speaking fear was like, oh gosh. And it's funny because pre recording videos, I can't tell you how many times I would click the start button and I would start speaking and then I would trip over a word or I just didn't like what I said and I would stop, delete, start again. 20 times sometimes. I mean, 30 minutes of wasted time just to get the video started. And so with the live video, I thought to myself, you know what? I am going to go all in and I am going to be as transparent as I possibly can because honestly, public speaking was a fear of mine, my number one fear my entire life. So much so that in college, when you had to give presentations and the presentation was about 75% of your overall grade for the class, I would have conversations with my professor and I would try to come to an agreement with them. I don't need to do this presentation. I'll do double the work, anything but standing in front of the darn class because I'll have a panic attack. Trust and believe. Even the first day of class, how your teacher has everyone go around, goes around the class, you say your name, what you did for the summer, or what your major is. I wanted to crawl under the desk and die. Like I really sweating profusely, like shaking to the point where when you speak, you honestly feel that everyone can hear nothing but and it's funny because people will tell you that, but outsiders don't hear that shake. You just feel like it's intense because of your fear, right? So my entire life, number one, fear public speaking. So when I started doing these videos, I started trying to articulate better, and get my point across without, lollygagging around like I'm doing right now. But, so I decided for this live video, it's going to be scary as can be, regardless of the topic. And the thing that I had just accomplished was getting off of my depression medications. Very few people knew that I was taking depression medications for 13 years. And I had been off of the meds for, I think at that point, it was maybe like 9 months or something. But it was the first time, because I had tried to get off for years. First time I felt like I am 100% happy. I don't need these medications. I did it. And so I wanted to tell my story because I knew a lot of people were struggling with the same thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be terrified of this video. If I can get through this video talking about my depression in front of however many people see this video, I can do anything. I can do anything. And so I did. And so I clicked that live button. I was ready for it, right? I was ready. And I'm going to be 100% transparent with you right now. I took a shot of Fireball. I took a shot of liquor. It was 11 a.m. on a Monday morning. I still remember it. And I thought, I am doing this today and I'm scared to death. I'm going to do a shot, warm me up a little bit. And I go up and the darn thing wasn't working. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got myself all prepared. And then the next day I figured out what the problem was. I don't even think I upgraded my Facebook. So I don't even think I had the capability of doing it. Anyhow, the next day did it within 2 minutes, because I saw all the people coming on because they were like, whoa, she's never been on here live. I wonder what she's talking. And I titled it My 13-Year Battle with Depression. So I just went in for it. And I had so many people coming in. Within 2 minutes, I was crying my eyes out, just bawling hysterically, beat red in the face. I mean, it was the worst case scenario for doing a live video. So I thought, and then I just started talking from my heart. And was it anything perfect? Absolutely not. I went in with zero script. I just wanted to talk from my heart and just let people out there know that they weren't alone. And that video was seen by thousands of people. I had crazy amounts of people sharing the video. And I realized at that point, it doesn't matter how pretty you look in front of the camera. It doesn't matter how, perfect you're articulating things. It doesn't matter if you're crying your eyes out or you're laughing and smiling. People really just want real. And people reached out to me and they said, thank you so much for being transparent. And at that moment, I realized I don't care how well I speak about a topic. I don't care how great I come across. If I'm not speaking with 100% honesty, transparency, people can't connect to that. And I don't even know if they're going to want to watch it. I don't know. So I came from a place of going all in and just showing my true colors. And so that's kind of how I've tried to continue these videos, and realizing that people, they tell me all the time, they say, I used to watch your videos before that weren't live and they were very educational and I loved them, but I wasn't entertained. I wasn't intrigued. I wasn't stimulated on the same level because I just felt like I couldn't relate. I didn't know your personality. I didn't know anything about you. You were literally just a means to the words and the knowledge. And I could get that from anywhere. And so they really expressed their respect for me, but their appreciation for just being real and just being able to go back and forth on these live videos. And so obviously it's taken some time. This was, I think it was 4 years ago I did my first live video, I want to say. Yeah, because I don't think that yes, it was before I was pregnant with my daughter. So about 4.5 years ago. And, it's been a growing process, that is for sure. But if there's one thing I can tell anyone that is nervous about public speaking and they want to be perfect and they want to make sure that everything's in place. The more perfect and in place you are, the less people are going to really be drawn in. They want real. They want to feel like they could do it too. You're tripping over words. You can't, you're wiping your nose, you're coughing. That's real. That's what they would be doing too if they were on this live video. And the fact that you have the courage to even do it, I don't care, even if it is sloppy and messy and out of sorts, people commend anyone willing to step outside of their comfort zone and take that risk, no matter what the outcome is, And so just knowing the growing process that I've had alone with just doing live videos, how it's helped me in 100%, I say my business has grown times 10 since I started doing live videos, since I started really getting in front of people and just going after it, whatever that means, whatever I'm speaking on, just going after it. So yeah, I am like a huge believer in just go for it. Go for it.
I'm actually really happy that you said this, that you have to really just go with it. I'm saying this because I just finished literally recording a course where I teach people, it's like a starter course, where I teach people how to do presentations, or actually more accurate, how to do videos that sell. And I also have a selling background. I used to be a salesperson in stuff that I didn't know anything about, but I knew people. That was my skill. I could read people. I would say, is this a person ready to buy? Is this a person who needs information? Is this a person who needs comfort? What is they need? And one of the key aspects of this course was exactly that. It's really not about that specific script. We don't teach scripts. We teach that you understand that it's about key concepts. If you have an idea, just have an idea what you want to say, not specifically what you want to say. Because like you said, if you are scripting it, it just becomes fake. It's not authentic. So I'm really happy that you brought it up, because I was just teaching this basically a week ago.
100%, and I do a side hustle, and it's in athleisure wear. So it's a network marketing company. So of course I have a team that I'm training, these women that are trying to present this opportunity to other women. And I tell them, because they're like, what's the script? What do I say? And I'm like, honey, you want to speak. It's the way in which you deliver the information is going to make or break. And that goes with anything in life. If you're not confident and you don't believe in what you're saying, then it's not going to be received in any good way. People can read between the lines. Like you said, they can read through a script. I get scripts all day long in my DMs, delete, or, sometimes I'll message them back, but I'm thinking anyone can copy and paste a message. You gotta connect. You have to connect. And if you can't, then you won't. You can't, you won't grow. So yeah, 100%, like out with the scripts and just be true. But, I do think that unless you have something that you're passionate about and that you believe in, then your delivery is never going to be, and, there are those good salespeople that it doesn't matter what they're selling. You hear it all the time. You could sell a toothbrush to someone without teeth. And it's like, well, there are some good people out there that believe in it, but you do. You can't really speak with that much passion unless you believe in something. So.
And I didn't ask you before, because you were really in a good run before. Why do you think you had fear of public speaking?
It's so interesting, because when I was younger, people are like, really? I was a little bit overweight, and I did have people that kind of made fun of my weight. And so I feel that I had an insecurity. And I feel a lot of times when we feel insecure about any aspect of ourselves, that we want to hide. We think that we're not good enough. We think that we compare ourselves and we think like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think of me? What are people going to think of me? And I think it wasn't until I really started doing personal development exercises and really stepped into like a mature, secure, confident self that I was able to realize this is not scary. Like I'm creating this big, scary thing, and it's really not the case. And I don't think you realize that until you break through and you do it one time. And then when you get done, you're like, whew, like, what was all this about? And I think in life, we do that about everything, not just public speaking. It's you're uncertain about something you don't understand it, you've never done it, it's scary, and we blow it up in our head to be this just crazy thing that we already are telling ourselves what it's going to feel like, what the outcome's going to be, even though we've never done it. And we're like, everyone's going to laugh at me and everyone's going to think this of me, and we put all those things before the actual action. And then when you really just bust through, you're like, it was nothing of the sort. It was amazing. And so I think that that's really what it was just being a little bit insecure with myself and just thinking of the others, what is everyone else going to think, and what is they're going to do this, instead of just focusing on the me and what I can do, and just take the first step and don't worry about anything else.
And do you remember when you did your first recording? Because it's always magical with the first recording. Do you remember how it felt before and after?
Well, I told you before, I took a shot of Fireball. I was terrified. But after, when I got done and I clicked that off, I felt a sense of accomplishment that I have never felt ever. And I still feel it, when I get done. There's something that live videos and public speaking can bring me. The gratification that it brings me is unlike anything in this world right now, at least that I've ever experienced. And I think because I know it's such an amazing thing to overcome a fear, but to become decent at it and to really start enjoying it. And it honestly is one of my favorite things that I can say that I do now. And it's amazing to think that for the first half of my life, I didn't even attempt it. And I did everything in my power to do anything but it. And now I just thought earlier today, I'm like, I haven't done a live video in way too long. I'm itching. I need to do it, And so it's amazing. And so, yeah, anyone that is terrified of public speaking, just understand that one day will come where this could be your favorite thing that you do. And you could literally just thrive off of it.
But what would be your advice if you had to say to someone who has this fear? Because you have had this fear, and maybe some people can do it with a fireball. But what would you give of advice if you don't want to try fireball, like to get over that obstacle?
Yeah,
because it's a big emotional obstacle.
It is. You have to disconnect yourself from what you think is going to happen. And I think a lot of times it's the other people, how the other people are going to receive it. And so 100%, you have to feel confident. I think that with everything in life, okay? So whatever, you need to feel comfortable, you need to feel confident. So whatever that means to you, whatever you're wearing, I think a lot of times, especially for us women, we want to look good, but we're wearing something that doesn't make us feel comfortable. And so, the entire time we're a worry is like right here, and we're like yanking, or like our hair is somehow, and we're like messing with it the entire time. And so that's like already a stressor. You want to like remove all the extras. The first time you do it, you literally want to be in your own bubble, if that's even possible. But, I know it's a different story if you're standing in front of a crowd of people or if you're seeing people on a live video popping up. But I just think you need to be comfortable, you need to be confident, you need to just breathe. You need to just breathe and you need to just follow through and just do it. I mean, it's like Nike said, just do it. I don't think that there's any magic potion. I think you just have to commit and you need to just trust it will all be okay.
Yeah, and if you look back, at least for me, so you will have to say it for your own experience. But when I look back and like just the first couple of videos that I made, and I compare them to what happened 3 years afterwards, it's game changing. Like you have to understand, as anybody who wants to get started, that what you first do as a video, like the first couple of videos, they're gonna be bad, like really bad, and you need to embrace it. That's how I feel. That you need to embrace that they are gonna be bad. They're not gonna be perfect. I don't know what you think.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I look at my old videos. I would do them in my, well, it's my daughter's bedroom now, against this wall, and then there was no background. I had like a plyometric, jump box in the corner that you could see a little bit of it. I think I even had some medals hanging. I don't know. It was just a hodgepodge of stuff. And of course, being a woman, you're looking at your presentation of yourself, and I'm mortified now. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my eyebrows and what was I doing with it. So taking even like the physical that you're looking at, you're like, that was a mess. The lighting, what lighting? I mean, it was terrible. It depended on it could have been nighttime, you could barely even see my face. And the way in which I delivered the information compared to now, you can tell when someone's confident and someone is enjoying themselves. Right now, I am enjoying myself and I'm giving you energy. Before, I literally just be like, hi, so today we're going to do, and everything's like,
Yes.
now you don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. And I'm like unfiltered and, so I really do think that it is the more you just kind of relax and let your personality shine through, it becomes fun at that point. And when you're so focused on okay, this is the information I want to give them. I'm going to give them just that. It's like a PowerPoint presentation and I'm going to go through slide by slide. Even if the slide isn't in front of them, I'm going to memorize what I'm going to say, because that's what I used to do. I used to study what I wanted to say, and then I would do it. I would talk about it, and then that would be it, and then done. But now it's like I want to connect and really just hey, talk about the day, and oh yeah, this happened earlier today, my kid just was crying all day long, or whatever it is. Just it shouldn't be so rigid. And I mean, depending on what you're public speaking for, obviously, if this is for your business, you're giving a presentation, you need to present. But even then, I think people can add in their own personality and their own spice and flavor to it. And that's the kind of stuff people will remember. If it's a drab presentation, you've heard that all the time. Yeah, I have to sit through this presentation again with my boss, and he's lame as can be. And be the boss who's entertaining with the information.
And I think it's actually, and sorry that I'm interrupting,
No,
but I
go
think it's
ahead.
the perfect timing to actually mention how you caught my attention with your video
Yeah.
and what makes them special, because and I think it should come from you.
Yeah. So my daughter is in a lot of my videos, 3.5-year-old daughter, and she will come in sometimes even when I'm doing my educationals. I do a whiteboard. It used to be Whiteboard Monday, where I do a lot of educational videos. But when I'm in the gym and I'm working out, she'll come in right next to me because I'll do live workouts. She'll start doing the exercises with me. And, and then I try to just, even in my stories on Instagram, she's with me about 75% of the time in my videos, just doing her thing. And I think people, and I know, especially the mothers, they comment all the time about how they love to watch us and our dynamic, and it's just refreshing because we're real. And, I still try to give people information and exercises and all the things, but she loves cooking with me. And so she's in the kitchen with me, helping me cook and all of that. But yeah, I've learned a lot, and it works because I have a pretty out there personality. And I've heard, social media, it's all about entertainment. So if you're trying to grow your social media platform, you want to be able to connect with your audience, but through entertainment. So even if you're educating, you want to be able to entertain. And so, yeah, I think that through that, I'm trying to find that good balance between being funny, letting my funny side come through, letting my educational side come through, and then of course my family side coming through. So it's a bonus that my daughter enjoys doing it all. It really is.
And that takes me actually to a very good question in this part is, if people would like to follow you or find more about you, where should they go? And we're also going to put the link, but
Sure.
I wanted you to say it as well.
Yes. So Instagram, you can find me at Sarah Gearino _coach. And my YouTube channel is Healthy Life Balance. My website is healthylifebalance.net. And my Facebook is Sarah Gearino.
And what about types of collabs that you do? Like, what kind of stuff do you usually do, and what do you offer of types of collaborations?
Yeah.
Yeah, what types?
Yeah. Collaboration. Well, I mean, I love doing any type of, online, any type of collabs. I've just now embarked on that stuff. But I mean, in terms of exercise, nutrition, public speaking, and also style, I'm a new stylist, if you will, with athletic wear. So it's an athleisure brand. But yeah, open to all of it, any of it. And I have an email that you can email at admin@healthylifebalance.net.
We'll probably also put the link here
Okay.
on the video. So, as one of the last things I would like to ask you is, if you have any suggestions, especially now that we're in 2021 and 2020 was not that easy because a lot of people have to work at home. And I can only tell from my own experience that, for me at least, it's been very difficult because I used to go to the gym. If I work at home, I need to have a very tight schedule, because if I do any routines more than 10 minutes, I have a son that's going to go and jump on me or something like that, or try to do the exercises on top of me. So, I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
how this feels. So, you have any routines or any videos like people should watch if they want to have like a 10-minute routine that they can use at home?
So on my YouTube channel, I do upload free exercise routines that you can do at home. And I upload at least once a week. So that's the Healthy Life Balance on YouTube. And then I also have a free download that has exercise routines that you can do at home. So I don't know, it's a link that I don't have memorized, but we can also, I can give you that link, and then they can upload, download, whatever you want to call it. And there's abdominal routines. There's routines that you can do with very minimal equipment, and routines that you can do with zero equipment. So
Well, thank you.
definitely download that.
So, we're
Absolutely.
basically at the end. I would like to ask you, do you have anything to add? Anything that you think I didn't ask you about that you think is relevant? Anything you would like to give as advice, or anything as last words?
Sure. I firmly believe that personal development practices every day are beneficial for everyone and anyone, especially those individuals that want to be self-employed and they want to grow their business through connecting, whether it's live video, in-person presentations. I honestly believe that is the number one way to grow your online brand, is through live video. Personally, I've seen it just skyrocket, my business. And so you got to work on yourself and your confidence, because I honestly think that confidence is going to be the make or break in terms of, whether you're in sales or you're just presenting information. And if you believe in yourself, at that point, other people will too. And I feel that until you truly believe in yourself, then you're going to have that fear. You're going to have that wall up. And once you let that wall down, I mean, the sky is the limit. It really is. And it's so exciting to understand how many avenues you can take. And like you were asking about, collaborations, networking is amazing. It's incredible. I think that's a great tool to utilize that very few people do. They think of, oh, am I going to get paid for this? And a lot of people are like, no, and I'm not going to do it if I'm not getting paid. And I'm thinking that's very, very, very narrow minded. Like, you want to open up all the doors. And because it takes one connection, I tell people that all the time. I don't care if it's business, relationship, anything. One connection can turn you into a direction or catapult your business. And so be open-minded, find your confidence. And, if you're still watching this and you feel like, okay, I want to do it, but I still can't break through this fear, I urge you to do a collaboration live video with someone else, because Facebook has given us this amazing tool that you can go in on a live video with another person. And in that way, you don't have to feel such pressure, like all eyes are on you. You can actually feed off of the energy of someone that and embark on it together. Because I know I've done that with a few of my friends who wanted to kind of step outside of their comfort zone, and I kind of helped them get it started, and now they're kind of moving along. So it's good to see.
I think that's a good point. I also did this before, where I would get a nerd to talk about something very nerdy, and I would bring the entertainment and also bring the right questions to the audience, because I understood more what the audience needs to know and what kind of questions they bring in. And if you're the nerd, you need to find a person like me, or you for that matter. And if you're the entertainer, you need sometimes to find the nerd. Of course, sometimes you can be both in one, but it just helps you get a bigger audience in that way.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, it really is. And just know where your strengths are and know where your weaknesses are. We all have weaknesses, and you're never going to be a full package. Just understand that. No one's perfect. What you see is a snapshot. What you see is typically showing their best characteristics, their strengths. So just feed off of your strengths and, work on your weaknesses, but you don't have to go after every aspect of everything. If you know that your strengths are here, just focus on what you're good at.
So yeah, thank you, Sarah. That was a pleasure to have you. I think we went a bit over what I expected of time, but it's great because you came with so much energy and so much enthusiasm. It was amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun, and it's my fault because I blab a lot.
That's amazing. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.